very lucky on Hammers Chat to be joined by a member of Analytics United on a regular basis on one of our podcasts. We call it Hammerlytics, actually. And you can think of Analytics United or Hammerlytics as, I guess, Opta on steroids, explained to you with all the other rubbish cast to one side, but only in a West Ham way, because the Analytics United boys are also West Ham fans. We've got this regular podcast, and Patreons will ask questions that might be pertaining to a game that's happened, a game that's coming up, someone's individual performance, be it good or bad. And during one of the most recent ones where I sat down with Jack, we stumbled into the subject of Divine Mubama. Now, I say stumbled because somebody had asked a question. It was really regarding Jarrod Bowen being the second choice striker behind Michail Antonio, how that would help the team or would it hinder the team, and how that would impact Mohamed Kudus being involved in the first team. And I just thought it was relevant now because, well, tonight we got a Europa League game coming up, and I think we're about to see, and I say I think, and if not in this game, certainly at some point during this group stage, what David Moyes' second choice plan is. I'm delighted that Michail Antonio has signed a new contract. That being said, I would prefer it if Michail Antonio was our second choice striker and we had have signed another senior one. But we are down a striker anyway. I think everybody can see that. So during the conversation, Jack started explaining from a tactical and a statistical and an analytical point of view why Divine Mubama is actually a better option than Danny Ings to play as a centre forward for West Ham. I believe that to be the case anyway, so maybe it was just a little bit of confirming what I thought I already knew, but the way that Jack explained it to me in terms of the positions he takes up, what his game entails, I've got to say, was a real education. So I'm going to give you a snippet from that now, and just in case we see a little bit of Mubama tonight. I'm going to be watching out for some of these character traits, some of these skills that Jack has pointed out. If you'd like to get involved with Hammers Chat Patreon, of course, the link is in the description below. It's patreon.com/Hammers Chat. At the moment, we're running a 7-day free trial. It's actually going to allow you to go back and retrospectively look at even old videos as well, so you can very much see what you're getting. Hammers Chat Patreon is basically our third Hammers Chat channel. I could go on and tell you about all the benefits of it. They're all clear. Go and check it out. Click the link below. Go and check it out and then see if it's for you. But anyway, if you don't want to join, that's absolutely fine too. We appreciate your support over on our 2 YouTube channels anyway. Here's a little freebie. Go and check out what Jack is about to say about Divine Mubama. What are your thoughts on Moyes using Bowen as a striker and Kudus slotting in at right wing as a sub for Antonio? And Chris says he loves the podcast.
Thank you, Chris. My thoughts on that are pretty positive, I think. I think one of the big problems is that, and we've seen it actually a lot this season, and it's a bigger problem than it's being treated like, as far as I can see inside of the club, is that when we are defending often a 1-goal lead and you bring, or even a 2-goal lead, and you bring Danny Ings on up front for 10, 15, 20 minutes, you lose the retention at the top end of the pitch. He does not secure possession from long balls. He has other strengths in his game that make him a good player, but he does not work as a lone striker, and you compound that issue a million times by bringing him on when you're defending deep and needing your striker to hold play up to give you the chance to get out. It just highlights all of the weaknesses that he has and doesn't give him a chance to show any of his strengths. In fact, the only moment really we've seen him play particularly well this season, to my mind, was in the very last knockings of the Bournemouth game where he got moved back to number 10 and Cornet came on up front, and he made a chance straight away for Cornet because he was a little bit less pressure from the centre-backs. Yeah, he was offside. Of course he was offside. He's always offside. But a little bit less pressure from the centre-backs for Danny Ings and a little bit more space, which makes him a better player because technically Danny is quite good. Just doesn't necessarily have the physical attributes to play that role. So the idea of Bowen moving in there is attractive for some, for the main reason that you get Kudus on the pitch, and actually he's a real direct threat from the right side. And his running would cause teams problems on the counter-attack in these moments when we're defending deep, much more so than Ings would. But I think, again, you have the same problem, is that your central striker isn't going to be particularly good at dealing with the aerial duels with centre-backs when you're just launching the ball out of your own box and hoping that your striker can do something for you. And for that reason, I would suggest that there is no good reason not to throw Divine Mubama on for 5 to 10 minutes at the end of a game, when actually, although it's a stressful situation, it's a stressful situation that's actually going to highlight all of his strengths. What's he good at? 1, his pressing is exceptional. 2, his hold-up play is brilliant. Those are the 2 things he's been really good at in youth football. And if you wanted to give him a chance to show them off, these situations actually would be tailor-made to getting the best out of him. So I cannot see why he wouldn't be an option in these situations, apart from the fact that he may not actually, and I think this is incredibly unfortunate, when the full senior squad is fit, he may not make the 9 players that are on the bench, because you'd maybe prefer Danny Ings. If you're, if you go a goal down, who do you want to bring on, Mubama or Ings? Probably more so Ings in that situation, because you're pressing for a winner. You want someone to finish a chance. So personally, I'd love to see Mubama in those situations. Bowen is an okay in between option, because it gets Kudus on the pitch, who's direct. But yeah, the key thing is that the Ings thing has to stop at some point, and hopefully it happens soon. But one of the things that I always look at, for example, with Divine Mubama, really impressed me was, what are the elements that are really important to senior football in terms of being able to fit into a system and function within that system? And do they perform those to a high level in youth football? So it's not just about the raw ability that they're displaying at youth level, but can they implement a press successfully? Are they approaching from the right angles? Are they pressing really energetically because they're really athletic and they've got the energy to do it at youth football, but it's maybe a little bit uncoordinated and silly? Or are they approaching from the exact right angle to force the pass that they want, that they can then go on and press, or be supported by a teammate that wins the ball back? Those are the kind of elements that I'm looking at and saying, that's the kind of thing that you put that player in the senior environment, and the manager says, I need you to do this. They're going to understand that already, and they've got that mental side of the game that they can bring straight away to senior level football. And an example of that is with Mubama's pressing, which is very high level for his age. Really, really good. Approaches always ace, turns the players the right way, always shifting with the press of the rest of the team. It's really very, very good for such a young player. And the other thing that you see with him is actually something that Michail Antonio had to almost learn more later in his career, which is, when your team is defending deep, be in line with the ball. So when the ball is released, you're in the right place to be able to hold it up against the centre back. Mubama has that. And I also like that he's quite good at inviting the centre back in and then getting his body across, which always gives him the advantage in being able to spin in behind, which you see Michail Antonio doing quite a lot. So these are little elements in terms of just tactical understanding that can be really strong with youth players, which give you more of a sense of, put them in the senior environment, they're just going to be able to function because they already get this stuff.